Hello and welcome to another episode of District of Sports. I'm George Gerbo. A reminder that you can find us wherever you get your podcasts. Just search District of Sports in your favorite podcast app, and to find all of our sports coverage online at washingtontimes.com/sports. The District of Columbia is a District of Champions once again after last season's title by the DC Defenders. The UFL team has built a popular following here in the district, and after knocking on the door of a title for a few seasons, finally broke through last year with a decisive 58-34 victory over the Michigan Panthers. Quarterback Jordan Tamu threw for 390 yards and accounted for 5 touchdowns in the championship game. And the game crystallized the tremendous amount of success for DC head coach Shannon Harris in just his first year. He took over head coaching duties just a week before the season began last year after head coach Reggie Barlow left to coach at Tennessee State. And after a championship season and winning the UFL's Buddy Teevens Coach of the Year award, there was no doubt that the interim tag would be removed in time for this season. And joining me on this edition of District of Sports is the head coach of the defending UFL champion DC Defenders and the reigning UFL Buddy Teevens Coach of the Year, Shannon Harris, as the Defenders gear up for their 2026 season with training camp around the corner. Shannon, I appreciate the time. It's good to have you. A bit of a whirlwind of a last year for you in taking the position just a week before the season starts and then building momentum and riding that all the way to the championship. How has it been to take a look back and reflect on this championship season and now that you're the full-time head coach of the Defenders?
You know, one thing about it, our coaching staff and a lot of our players, we all rallied around each other, and our support staff did a great job of making sure everything stayed flow. And so that was the biggest thing that made things so much comfortable for me. And being familiar with not just the players and the coaches and all of that stuff and the support staff. So that made things so much easier. And but to go out and do the things we did last season, that was amazing and spectacular for our guys. And, we're looking to build on that momentum some more this season. Like you said, we have a lot of players coming back, part of our roster. Of course, when you do some good things, people start to try to pluck from your roster, not just for players, but the coaches as well. So, but we was able to maintain a lot of our players, like you said, with Jordan, our quarterback, the entire room. Excited to have those guys back, and that's a big thing for sure. And, our offensive coordinator back, our defense coordinator back. So we're grateful for that, and pretty much the whole entire roster, staff except for one of our coaches, but he was able to move on and get some do some good stuff for himself. So we're excited about that. But going into this season, going into the draft, a lot of changes, a lot of team breakups, but we were able to still maintain a lot of continuity from that standpoint. And so that was huge for us. That was the thought process going into it, to try to keep the continuity as much as possible. And we were able to do that for sure. So excited about that part. And then, to be able to balance, 2 roles, being up at Tennessee State and, to be still head coach for the DC Defenders. It was challenging, but at the same time, again, when you surround yourself with good people and, you have good coaching staff and you got good players, things kind of take care of itself. So that's the part that, that I'm so grateful for. And, all that stuff make my job much easier.
I'm curious that, people, when you hear you've got the role in Nashville at Tennessee State, and of course, people who are Defenders fans know the tie-ins. Reggie Barlow's the head coach down there now. I want to give a shout out to the recently announced Pro Football Hall of Famer, Super Bowl 20 MVP Richard Dent, a TSU alum, going to join as an advisor to Reggie down there too. So you've got continuity in kind of both places, both here in the district. You worked for Reggie and down there at Tennessee State. And I think people are probably drawn to, that seems like a lot initially. For me, I'm kind of intrigued that you get to see the development of college players at that level and then kind of watch them progress to a pro level. Is there a benefit on both sides, both for being at TSU and letting those guys know, hey, here's what it can look like in the pro side, and then the same when you're in DC, hey, I've seen how college level what you need to do from there to take your game to have it work and compete at a pro level?
Yeah, no doubt, man. Huge shout out to Reggie for sure. And man, he's been a huge part of growth of my career, and I'm so grateful for him for the things that he's done for me throughout my coaching career, and to give me that opportunity. And then for, yeah, like you said, Richard Dent going down there to play to do his role there, which is huge for Reggie, and then not just for Reggie, but for the university itself and for the city and the communities. So we're grateful for that. But yeah, I mean, to be there, we had such a young team, and to let guys know and show them, what it takes to play at the higher level. Everyone wants that opportunity when they're in college, but so often that they don't get that same teaching or whatnot, or have someone that close to them. I know we had a really good staff down there, myself with Reggie and, Greg Williams and, Cruzy, who's been in the NFL for so long, and just a lot of guys that's even on our offense side of the ball, as well. And these guys did a great job of teaching these young kids how to be a pro, what it takes to be a pro. And so that was the benefit of that, to go down there, to be able to do that. That's what I love the most, to teach the guys, what it takes. And then, like you said, you see those guys play in college, and then when you're back in pro football, you can kind of see some of the same similarities, especially in our league, because we're with development here as well, and trying to help guys get back into the NFL. So the teaching and development doesn't change, but it's a lot of similarities there. But these guys at our level have a bigger edge or whatnot, because they've been in the NFL. They know what it takes, but it's still some development there that needs to take place. So it's kind of the same thing, but you're just dealing with a better player for sure.
Speaking of a better player, Jordan Ta'amu, his progression in this league since 2023 has been super fun to watch. He led the UFL in touchdowns last year, 17, only 4 interceptions, 2,155 yards, was second in the league. And then his performance in the title game, 390 yards and 5 total touchdowns. How rewarding has it been, as a guy that worked with quarterbacks and now has gone to become the full-time head coach for the Defenders, just kind of seeing his maturation, seeing him come along, and he always had those. If you've seen him, and I got a chance to a couple years ago after a game to talk with him, just his physical nature, it's just like, yeah, this guy looks like a quarterback, but watching him put it all together and get kind of the stats and the accolades and the progression of the position to go with it, how rewarding has that been for you?
No, that is very rewarding to be able to work with a guy, man, that have played it at a high level, understand our league, and, the relationship that he and I have built. A lot of success for organizations, whether it be in college or NFL or wherever, that working relationship that you have head coach to quarterback is vital. So to have that relationship with him, to have worked with him over the last 3 seasons, and to have a lot of success with Jordan, he's gained that trust in me, and vice versa. But I tell you, man, he make our team go. We was talking the other night, he and I, and about Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford, right? That really good relationship they had, and to hear Matthew Stafford speech at the end of his award ceremony deal there, to be named MVP of the league, and just how he talked about their relationship, right? And how they've grown together. And that's the same way with Jordan and I. We had some instant success in year 1, 2023. To make it to the championship game. Didn't come out the way we wanted it, and then the next year we kind of had a little law where we weren't as good, and so we had to go back to the drawing board to say, well, we're not as good as we thought we were, but at the same time we're not as bad as we think we are. So let's get back to the drawing board. Let's get back to some things that we're comfortable with and doing, and surround them with the right pieces. And we did a good job of that with our guys up front at the offensive line position. Brian Braswell, our offensive line coach, has done an amazing job for us, man. We're so grateful for him. And, Fred Keiss has done a great job of, from an offensive coordinator standpoint, putting us in good situations. So we were very grateful for those guys from that standpoint, man. And Jordan, man, he's just a guy that go out there and do his job. He has the respect of the entire team. Those guys play for him hard, and they rally around him. And, in that championship game last season, everybody on our team took it personal that he didn't win MVP. And I said, that might have been the worst thing they could have did. It made someone else MVP. But it was a blessing for us because that chip got bigger and bigger on our shoulders, man. So, but yeah, Jordan is our leader, and we're great to have him back.
I want to give credit to the defense too, which was a significant part of that run last season. 17 takeaways, was tied for first in the league. Guys like Derek Robertson, Andre Mintz, 22 sacks as a defensive unit, was third in the league. That complements, I think the league started out a little bit, Shannon, when it came back a few years ago, and it's like, okay, maybe it's going to be this offensively, big plays. And you guys definitely can put points on the board as you did in the championship. But it seems like now, as the league is settled into a rhythm here, that it's going to be a league where you're going to need some guys on the defensive side of the ball and not just an air raid or a fun and gun type of league, that the defensive component is becoming more, when you watch these games, that, yeah, it's more of a balanced level of football as you get into deeper now and the league hits its rhythm.
Yeah, I mean, you said it. I tell you that the competition in our league is definitely gone up. Especially when the leagues merge, right? It was the XFL, then it was the USFL, and then when they merged, it just made competition that much greater. And to your point, from a defense perspective, it's a lot of great defensive players on that side of the ball. I mean, with our guys and I mean every other team in our league. So, but yeah, Mets and D-Road, man, those guys did a great job for us. And when you got some good pass rushers, some good edge guys. And, you got to earn a right to rush the passer. So we got some really good guys in the middle, Joe Wallace and D. Maxwell and guys like that, man, up in the middle of our defense. Amazing. Then our linebacker group and then our secondary guys. We have some guys that's in that back end that has played a lot of NFL football. So we're excited to have all those guys back there with us. And, yeah, I tell you, defense did a great job with those takeaways. And anytime you can take the ball away that many times and give the offense another opportunity to go out there and put points on the board, that give you a great chance of winning. So that's been our formula over the last 3 years, And so we've been grateful for that, to have really good football players over there and guys who can get after the quarterback and create takeaways.
I've got to talk about the atmosphere and playing in DC. 5 games this year at Audi Field. The home opener is April 11th against Houston. And I think you've probably had a front row seat to see that. I feel sometimes, as covering sports in this town, that DC fans kind of get maybe disrespected, overlooked a little bit about the passion for sports in this area, just because of the nature of the place, right? It's the capital of America and everything. But beneath that, there's people that really love their teams and love what they do here. And from the jump with the XFL and now into the UFL with DC and playing at Audi, the environment, the atmosphere was off the charts. You got the fans, you got the beer snake in the wall there in the end zone and everything. How unique is it to have that kind of atmosphere in a town where there's so many things to do? We've got the NFL, we've got baseball, hockey, basketball, all kind of going on at the same time when you guys are playing. But Defenders fans have been super loyal and created a really unique community among UFL teams that we have here in DC.
Yeah, I mean, we're very grateful to be in a big sports market. And, like you said, I mean, for us, we have a really good fan base. And, we're so excited about them and what they bring, the energy, the passion that they bring to each game, the support they show, even outside the arena, And so we definitely have been grateful for that standpoint, and to be a part of, the District of Champions. What better place to be? And like you said, you got hockey, you got baseball, you got, other football team here and all that stuff. And even right down the road, you got that purple and black team down there too. So, but that's so close. But to be here, to be a part of the DC Defenders here in the district, man, and just our fans, like, we're so grateful for those guys. And like I said earlier, man, that the energy and the passion that they bring each and every week, in spring football, that shows me how much the people around here love sports. And, we can't wait to get back out there and, defend our crown.
Speaking of that, I'll wrap up with this. That defense starts on March 28th at St. Louis. And again, the home opener, April 11th against Houston. TheUFL.com for tickets and more information. 5 games this summer at Audi Field. It is a fun environment. It's super engaging to go. And you get to see a championship team come out in the Defenders. You guys return 25 players, as we mentioned. The outlook, and of course, quarterback Jordan Tamu, the outlook to run it back, and your thoughts and optimism, especially now that you've got last summer the interim tag removed, so full time, that takes a little bit of a weight off your shoulder. But you've been with these guys so long that the relationship and the familiarity there is more than just interim or non-interim. Just your thoughts and assessment as you go into this season, training camp right around the corner, and the season will be here before you know it.
Yeah, you're right, man. And last season, going into that first game, we had to open up with Birmingham, and those guys had come off of being a 3-time defending champs, right? So our antennas had to go up in practice and camp from day one, and now to have won a championship and coming back, that same intensity got to come back now. What's better than one championship is two. And so now our antennas got to go up even higher because we put a huge bullseye on our back. So the expectation of our players and the coaches is, it's up there high. And we understand, what it's going to take to be able to go out and compete to try to win another championship, because we know everybody's gunning for us, right? So, the attention to detail has got to go up higher. We did a great job with our draft picks and getting good players back on our roster. So we're excited about that. But yeah, we have no days off now, man. It is go, go, go. And we can't afford to take a step back, in meetings and practice, whatever it may be, walkthroughs, however it may be, preparation. We got to put a premium on all that. So, but I would rather have it no other way, to come off a championship and go try to defend it. And what better place to defend a championship here at DC?
Absolutely. Season kicks off on March 28th and the home opener at Audi Field, April 11th. Shannon, Harris, I appreciate the time. Congratulations on the title, the full-time job, and appreciate it. Thank you so much.
No, appreciate you.
The DC Defender season kicks off March 28th at the St. Louis Battlehawks. The home opener is April 11th against the Houston Gamblers at noon at Audi Field, one of 5 home games this spring in the district. All games are also broadcast on the league's television partners, ESPN, ABC, and Fox. You can find the District of Sports podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Just search District of Sports in your favorite podcast app and check out all of our sports covered to the Washington Times at washingtontimes.com/sports, at Wash Times on social media, and at Gerbo3 for myself on social media. I'm George Gerbo. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.